Today in this training, we're going to be talking about the number one way to really set yourself apart from all of the other million reps out there in your space and in your industry. So welcome. If you're joining in live, make sure you say hello. Let me know where you're viewing in from. And if you're watching the replay, just drop a replay if you're coming back, and I'll make sure to give you a shout out as well. So today we're going to talk about the number one way to really help you stand out, amongst the crowd, to get noticed in your space among the million other reps doing the same exact thing. And that number one thing comes down to branding. And I'm super curious. Let me know if you are doing this right now. Drop me number one if you're branding yourself. Drop me number two if you are branding your company. I will walk you through kind of like the do's and don'ts, I guess, between the two, and to really give you an idea of how to do this correctly, to really start, getting that reach out there, to really start getting noticed. So welcome. My name is Melissa Kibler, and I help entrepreneurs and network marketers to get on the fast track to success using simple and effective social media strategies. So hello, Anna. Hello, Stacy from PA. Oh, you're not too far away. So East Coasters. I am right outside the Buffalo area, and let's see, we're winding down. My kids are still not back in school yet. They start actually in not until after Labor Day, so I still have a little bit more time. So I wanted to get this out to you because so many people kind of contemplate, and they're really not sure kind of which direction to go. Branding yourself or branding your company, that's kind of like the big question. And a lot of people think, if I'm not branding my company, how the heck do people know what I offer? Like, how are people going to know, what I sell, what company I'm in, if it's kind of like, top secret? And in my opinion, that should be one of the top secrets, like the something that's on your page that, most people shouldn't be able to identify which company you're in. And I'm actually going to go deeper into this and explain why, because this isn't exactly what I learned in the very beginning, and I didn't quite understand in the very beginning as well. So hi, Christy, you're from Texas. Ooh, I was talking to somebody from Texas just the other day, and they said the weather is hot down there. So I couldn't imagine, like right now it's kind of cooling down. It's kind of like fallish weather right here outside of Buffalo. So I want to talk to you about branding yourself or your company, really which one is better. And again, let me know, because I can kind of help you better on this live. If you kind of let me know kind of how you're building your business right now. Are you branding yourself or are you branding your company? Because if you're branding your company and you don't know any better, totally okay. But I want to give you a little insight just from my own experience and what I've learned and how that's kind of serving me, how that's helping me. But if you're hearing crickets on your posts, on your social media posts, you're definitely going to want to stay tuned to learn why, what this is all about. And also at the end of this live training as well, I'm going to break down 4 benefits as to why you should be branding yourself. So this is the topic for today, all about branding. And, to be completely honest with you, when I first started building my team, when I first started building my business, I had no idea what branding even meant. Like, let me know if you, when you first started in network marketing, whether you're in direct sales, like, let me know, did you even think about branding? Did you even know what it meant? Because I certainly did not. When I first started in my company, I was super excited to share my products. And, usually for most people, when you get started in your business, your company most likely has, fancy graphics. They have, I was just so excited because I'm like, oh, I'm this entrepreneur. I'm starting to work from home. I had that flexibility. It was like the coolest thing in my opinion. So I jumped on that bandwagon and I started using my company graphics. And then, of course I went out there and I started getting, those business cards with my name on it and my little logo and my phone number and like how they could stay in touch with me. Hi, Rebecca, how are you? So that's kind of basically what I did when I first started out. My name and the company name were kind of like intertwined, and I just kind of put it all out there for everybody to see. When I first started, so you did not understand, yeah, most people don't. I was taught to spam and cold message people. Unfortunately, yes, so many people, get caught into that, and we're taught to do these certain things, but we find out, very quickly that that does not get us the results that we're looking for. And that really comes down to, how is your audience really connecting with you? Are they engaging with you? Because if you continue on doing that, if you're sending out those cold messages, if you are taught to kind of like, and for the most part, a lot of people don't even know that they're spamming. As far as doing, putting out those, I would always do those lifestyle posts. Here's how these products are helping me in my life, right? So I thought I was doing my audience, a huge service, kind of showing them how I would be using my products in my life. But I was, looking back on my posts now, nobody was responding to those. I was hearing crickets on my posts. Nobody was engaging. Nobody was responding. And if those people were, liking or commenting on my posts, more than likely, those were the people already in my company. So it was kind of sad. It was actually really, really sad. So that's kind of when I noticed that things were not, moving in the direction that I wanted them to go. So, when I first started growing my team, I quickly learned that, when I started doing those lifestyle posts, I even started dabbling in online events. And when those weren't working for me, I even went a step further and I'm thinking, okay, now to expand my network, I got to just, try to find people anywhere, right? Especially in the social media, like online world. Usually what happens is you dive into Facebook groups, right? Facebook groups to kind of like get in touch with those common interests, those people, those like-minded people, and start to, generate those relationships there. But, quickly found out that that's not an easy task either, especially if you don't want to be on social media and have your phone attached to your hip 24/7. So that was just something that I knew I could not continue doing if I wanted to continue my business this way. So here's what really happened though through it all. When I was doing those lifestyle posts, when I was doing those online events, really when I had those business cards and posting my company graphics, what I felt was that I was going through that mundane, that routine. Same thing, day in, day out. I was going through that same agenda, that same routine. But what I really found through that all was that I lost my voice. I lost my identity. I really lost who I was as a person because I wanted to build and grow my business so fast that I was willing to do whatever it took. And knowing that, those top leaders got to where they were doing those strategies, I was like, oh, heck yes, like I can just do those same things. But, I quickly found out that that's not for everybody. And that's not exactly the right way to grow a sustainable business that, you enjoy and have fun doing and that you love, right? So Stacy says same, crickets. Yeah, it's so frustrating, right? When you're putting, your time and energy, especially I'm not like, believe it or not, when I first started building my business, I am not a huge social media fan. Like I was only on social media, number one, to stay connected to family that lived miles and miles away. But other than that, when I was done doing offline strategies to build my business and I chose to kind of dabble in the online space, in the online world, it kind of pushed me that I had to be on there. I had to have that presence on there, but I had no idea what I was doing. I had no strategy in place. I was just kind of trying things out, trial and error, just hoping for the best. But I soon realized that I was getting nowhere fast. So that was super, super frustrating. So drop me number one. Can you relate to this? Like, have you done lifestyle posts? Have you done online events to only get, crickets on your posts? Meaning that nobody is engaging, nobody's commenting on your stuff, nobody's really reaching out or could care less about your products and or your, your business opportunity. Drop me number one if that is you. So, in the beginning when I was doing online strategies, I was enrolling people like crazy. But I soon found out that there's a total burnout there, spending more time away from my family, which I didn't want to do, which led me to a lot of these online strategies. So, that's one of the things too, when I talk about systems and having an important system in place, an online system that's more duplicatable for your team, that's another story. But today I really want to focus on, branding yourself, because when you are branding yourself, remember that you are the face of your company. Like people join people. They don't necessarily join for your product, for your company. Like that's a bonus, like especially if you have a really, really great product, but that doesn't define you. So especially when, I went through that process where I was enrolling a lot of people and my team, I was noticing we had amazing products. My team wasn't duplicating. I knew the breakdown there was the online system. So when I got plugged into there, and the reason why this relates to branding, and I'm going to just share this little story with you, because when I chose to change companies for a better online system, to be able to duplicate my team faster, what I realized is, thank goodness I was branding myself and not my company at that point, because that was the most easiest transition into another company. So that's benefit number one. Actually, I'm gonna give you 5 benefits as to why you should brand yourself. So benefit number one is when you're branding yourself, And when when I talk about branding yourself, like I don't want to overcomplicate it. It's not the fancy logos. It's not like the colors that you would typically associate with branding, right? Like when you go to somebody's website and they have, a specific font or colors, or, that'll come, that can definitely come down the line of like branding yourself. But branding really means like who you are to the core, like who you are, what you're all about. It's about just being you, right? So when you're building this huge empire, like this huge business, how fun would that be if you can build a business around yourself? Not around some company, not around some products, but about you and what you're all about, like what you love to do, what are your hobbies? Like for me, if somebody were to go look at my personal page, it kind of comes down to a few things. Like I love my family, I love my kids, I love to travel. I'm really into health and wellness. I try as much as I can to exercise and eat right. Like that's what I'm all about, right? Now, if you were to go on somebody else's personal page, I would say what you want to do, especially on your personal page, especially where the branding piece comes in, is if somebody were to land on your personal page, you want them to be able to, say like 10 posts deep into your feed, they should have a pretty good indicator of who you are. Because if they can't figure out within those first 10 to 20 posts on your page and they can't really get a good idea of who you are, then you might want to really take a look and reassess what you're posting on your page and really narrow that in a little bit. So that way, those people that you are interacting with, both the people that which we refer to them as your warm market, and then also those people that you're engaging with, because social media, if you're building your business on social media, your page really should be set to public. So that way you can reach the masses and you can go beyond your family and your friends and you can build this global network of people. This is really, just the building blocks of your business, is to have this massive, huge global network of people that you can connect with and build relationships with. So the more that they can understand who you are, the better. So really kind of narrow that in a little bit. As far as, taking a step back a little bit and say, okay, who am I? What am I really all about? What do I want people to know about me? So that way they can kind of get an idea of who I am, better, faster. And one of the best ways to do that, really, if you're not doing them, is Facebook Lives. I don't do them a whole lot on my personal page. This can be another training for a separate day between, how I really utilize my personal page versus my business page. I do a lot of my live trainings and a lot of my lives on my business page because those are ideal for my target market. I've come to realize that a lot of the people in my warm kind of circle, in my network, my friends and family, they're not really the most ideal people. Even though we may think they are, we may think that our product can serve everybody, the truth of the matter is those people just may not be ready for what we have to offer, and that's okay. So how can we go beyond that? So that's kind of how I transitioned into my business page. Reach out to me if you have any questions about that, because there is a strategic way to set that up to make sure it's the most effective, to really bring in the most qualified and targeted people for your specific business and the niche that you are in. So getting back to those 4 benefits of branding yourself is to really, so you can have more fun in your business, right? So that way you don't have to get sucked into the same, income bringing activities of, okay, make the list and now you have to reach out to the list. How many times have you felt just totally salesy and awkward sending those copy paste messages to people that you could care less to talk to, but because they were on your list, you felt the need that you had to reach out and talk to those people? I don't know about you, but for me, like that just was not working for me. I needed a better way. So by branding yourself, when you are posting about what you love, your lifestyle, your passions, like things like that, and when you're consistently showing up for your audience on your page, especially if you're building on social media, you need to be showing up for your audience on your page. And the more that you do that, the more that people are your ideal people are going to be reaching out to you. They're going to be connecting with you. You're going to be posting in a way that gets people to, comment in saying, hey, what are you using? Or, hey, I just saw you were traveling there. Whoa, like, what are you doing? Like, you want to make it curious, you want to make it fun, but most importantly, you want people to be reaching out to you and building those relationships and then seeing where people are at, right? So number 1, you're going to have more fun in your business when you're branding yourself. People are going to get to know you far more, far better than if you were just putting out a product post or a lifestyle post that really doesn't do anything. That's more of like salesy, needy, like come buy my stuff, right? Now you can see the difference is when you start to do more of, creating your post just around yourself and your lifestyle and your branding of who you are and what you're all about. People are going to see you more, especially when you're showing up and you're visible, especially in your stories. They're going to want to keep following you and see what you're all about. That takes away that whole agenda too. So that, again, makes your business more fun. It takes away of that hidden agenda of trying to steer that conversation in a certain way, right? And you can really meet those people where they're at. And then depending on, really getting to a good, genuine conversation with those people, then you can have those conversations and meet those people where they're at to decide, okay, does this person, maybe I can refer my products, maybe I can refer my business opportunity, maybe it's something else that can help them in their business, right? So I have multiple different ways of how I can help and serve other people when they are reaching out to me, when I'm having those conversations and connecting with those people. So you can have more fun in your business. You're going to be able to people are going to be able to get to know you better. And also, again, you are going to have more genuine conversations and connections. Again, it's not going to seem as salesy or weird or needy of having to reach out to, those people to build up your organization and your team. You're basically meeting people right where they're at. And that's how we want that to be. So again, and number 4, you're going to attract versus repel your audience. So instead of getting blocked or unfriended by like your closest friends and family members, which I know of some people that have had that happen to them before, and it's kind of sad, right? So you don't want that to happen at all. You want to just be able to be yourself, be genuine, and build a business around your passions, about your lifestyle and who you are. Because again, people join people, not, a company, not a product or things like that. So, and that's also like when I chose to join a new company, that's something that stood out to me as well. I had to have the culture. I had to be a fun group of girls and women just empowering each other and having that leadership. So that's definitely something that, I took into consideration when I chose a company. So you can imagine when people are joining you, they're joining you because, they trust you, they know you, they like you enough to, maybe try your products, give them a try, or to, depending on their situation, to possibly join you in your business opportunity. So you just never know. So that's just something that I really wanted to stress here today. The number one reason really that's going to help you stand out from all of the million reps out there, especially in this busy online noisy space, it's not going to be your company that sets you apart. It's not going to be your products that set you apart. It is simply going to be you and your story, your uniqueness. Nobody could ever copy your story and who you're all about. So when you can stay true to that and you can bring people into your story and let them follow you on your journey and they can relate to you on some level, that's where, that relationship really sparks and grows and kind of prospers. And that's how really people, end up joining you, because you take away that agenda and you're just getting down to knowing people, loving on people, just meeting people where they're at and really just building those relationships. So making sure you set aside that time. If you are just using your personal page, great. Just be really intentional with the way that you're posting and how you're showing up on your page. And again, if you want a little bit more insight and knowledge on how I am a little bit more strategic, because I always say to build a 6-figure business, if you want to go that far and you want to make it to the top and you want that 6-figure business, then you do have to invest in yourself and really learn the 6-figure skill set of, especially if you're network marketing, there's some marketing piece in there, and it's more than just reaching out there and talking to people on a list, right? There's definitely more involved there. So is it better to post stories more than regular posts? Great question, Stacy. So here's my little take on that as far as stories. So think about your day, right? We have multiple things that we have going on throughout the day. Rather than putting all of that into your feed, again, because everybody's fighting for that space and that time online, Facebook is really more so looking for quality posts over quantity, okay? So yes, as much as I want you to be visible, to get in front of people, that's where stories that's where stories really come into play. So yes, take advantage of your stories. I would recommend posting at least, if you're not doing stories right now, start getting the habit of doing one story, maybe boosting that up to like 2-3 stories a day or more, depending on what you're doing. Totally okay to do stories, because again, that's a way for people to really get on the inside of, your lifestyle, what you're all about, changing that up. It could be a post, a picture, it could be a Facebook Live, a boomerang. You can really just make them so much fun. Again, sharing all the different, whatever you're doing, traveling with your kids, whatever it is that may be for you. So yes, as much as you want in your stories, that's fine. But as far as on your feed goes, I would just do, honestly, in my opinion, I would just do one quality post per day if you can do that. And that's something that I even need to do more of on my personal page. I'm way more consistent on my business page because of these are where my ideal people are hanging out and following me is on my business page versus the other. But definitely if you wanted to work both, then do one quality post on your personal page, keeping up with your stories, and then definitely reach out to me if you want a strategic way on building up that fan page, and really be able to grow your network on a global level, because there's definitely, there's a lot of information out there, as we all know, but a lot of the times what people don't get is the full picture. You might get an awesome training here or an awesome training here, but as far as your whole entire approach for building up this business, and when I say entire approach, it really comes down to, I want to say 4 things. It is, really growing that network outside of your family and friends, and then being able to engage with that network, promoting to that network, and then appreciating the network that you have, right? So there's a whole, I have a whole roadmap that I follow that takes me through step by step on how I do that, how I'm able to achieve that. So yes, girl, yes, I want that 6 figures. Go for it. There's nothing stopping you. So I hope you have a plan and a system in place. If not, reach out, because you're gonna need that in order to get where you wanna go up here, strategically and fast. A lot of people can try to do it on their own, like I said, but there's a way to do that strategically as well, and how to build that up, where to find those people, and so on. So again, if you're not sure where to start, how to start, things like that, please reach out to me. My door is always open. Like I said, I'm just sharing my experience of what I've gone through and what's working right now. Obviously know what didn't work before, and now what's working. So I like to just give that back, pay those dues back to my fellow networkers out there that could use some of these skills that I now know. So I don't know how yet. Okay, so reach out to me. Just send me a little private message. We can set up a chat. Anne-Marie, I need ideas. Yes, girl, reach out. So my door is always open. So on my Facebook page, you can always reach out to me there. Facebook Messenger, send me a private message that way as well. We can get something set up. I'll take a look at my calendar. It might be a little crazy this week, but you can definitely see I have a scheduling link that I can send you to kind of have a quick chat, and we can kind of see where you're at, what you're working on, what you're looking to do, and see if there's anything that I can help you with. So girls, feel free to reach out. Seriously, my door's always open. So thank you so much for tuning in and hopping on. I appreciate you guys for just, hopping on and taking time out of your busy schedules. It's always good to get your learn on. That's always good, that personal development, to get that in. So I will be back, let's see, what is today, Monday? So I try to go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you haven't liked the page already, make sure you go up and like it, change those notification settings so you get all the tips and trainings that I put out. Sometimes it just helps to get notified when I come on live that way. So, but other than that, until next time, talk to you soon and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.